This is 7 News, the voice of regional WA.
Tonight, Canberra cuts hundreds of millions from road projects in regional WA. Crops wiped out. Devastating hailstorms hit wheatbelt farmers. Sydney to Busselton. New flights from the East Coast unveiled.
And that sunshine is set to stick around. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
7 News begins now.
Hello and welcome to 7 News. Canberra has axed funding for 50 infrastructure projects across Australia. That includes about $300 million cut from projects in regional WA.
Faced with a scathing review of its infrastructure investment program, Canberra decided cutbacks were the answer.
There are 50 projects that have been cancelled as part of this process.
Among them, $300 million worth of funding for 5 WA projects. They include the Marble Bar and Maureen Rock to Mount Holland road upgrades and the first 2 stages of the Pinjarra heavy haulage deviation.
Many projects lacked proper planning, didn't have informed costings and weren't ready for Commonwealth investment.
It was disappointing that the review panel said that the key 3 projects in the regional areas didn't have merit. That's absolute rubbish. The Marble Bar road upgrade, they only need to go up to drive on that road, a gravel road which is being beaten up by iron ore trucks and other freight, to know how badly needed that project is.
The Transport Minister says even though WA wasn't dealt the biggest blow, she's still deeply disappointed.
Many of those projects in the north and across the state help support the revenue that underpin not only our state budget but the national budget as well.
We see here a complete lack of ability from the state government to ensure that the federal government understands the needs of Western Australia.
The state government has vowed to fill the funding gaps.
Without developing and delivering infrastructure in regional WA, you impact jobs, you impact economic development.
Jenny Shon, 7 News.
A man has pleaded not guilty to several charges after a 3-year-old boy was left critically injured earlier this year. Jared Heath Edwards is accused of hitting 3-year-old Brenton Comagain while he was sitting on the front verge of a home in Geraldton in March. The boy was allegedly dragged down the street, suffering severe burns, a fractured skull and broken legs. He spent months in Perth's Children's Hospital. Mr Edwards has been charged with failing to stop to provide assistance, careless driving causing bodily harm and driving while impaired with drugs. He pleaded not guilty to 2 of those charges today. His duty lawyer told the court he's waiting for a report before entering a plea to the 3rd charge. The 47-year-old will return to court next year. Authorities need your help to find a teenage boy in our state south. Amos Ugal was last seen wearing black pants with white stripes, a red hooded jumper and red cap. He was seen in Kojana but is known to visit Albany, the Perth CBD and Belia. Anyone who's seen Amos or who can help locate him is asked to contact police. Jetstar has announced direct flights from Sydney to Busselton. From next year, they'll run 3 times a week.
Busselton is back on the arrivals board.
It's such an incredible place for interstate and international tourism, and these direct flights will again support further tourism opportunities in the southwest.
Direct flights between the southwest city and Sydney will be up and away from March next year. Jetstar will make the trip 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. A snap 12-hour sale started this morning. A one-way ticket, $109.
They're very popular already. We've understand hundreds of tickets have already been sold since the sales commenced this morning.
It will run alongside flights to Melbourne, connecting one of Australia's biggest cities to the country.
Not only the residents, but the enormous tourism potential and also the reality that it's already a Mecca tourism spot.
It will drive new tourism investment in infrastructure in the southwest. It's a great future and we're all very, very proud of.
The City of Busselton has welcomed the move, labelling it an opportune time to travel in a bid to showcase the best of the West. Amanda Sabatino, 7 News.
Hailstorms have hit our wheat belt badly, damaging crops on several farms. The heavy weather has hit halfway through this year's harvest.
Hailstones the size of a 50-cent piece came down on farms in and around Hyden. Fields were covered in ice and crops destroyed. Farmers watched their season's work thrashed by a storm.
If unfortunately you're underneath it, you're in a world of pain. But you can watch one go by and you can be harvesting yourself within hours or continue harvesting. But they're devastating with the harm they can do.
Some farmers now face the prospect of little or no return as they weren't insured or were just approaching their quota before insurance kicks in.
If someone hasn't taken out any insurance whatsoever, they find themselves in a very tight place because you've got nowhere to go. You can't recover the grain on the ground. You've lost it.
Farmers will now assess the damage and pick up the pieces. Maya Grieve, 7 News.
The state government will splash out more than $100 million on renewable energy, but it's digging its heels in on the future of gas. The Premier says our state needs to sacrifice emission goals to help out the world.
The Premier is digging in, backing WA gas as a key intermediate product to help the world transition away from coal, commenting on the eve of his Energy Transition Summit that is expected to be the target of student protesters. Roger Cook today announced a $134 million funding boost for the emerging renewable energy industry, including $60 million for investment grants to help industry answer questions like how to reuse batteries so the solution doesn't cause new waste. And there's $2 million for electric vehicle chargers at Metronet train stations. But the Premier has rebuffed demands to end the use of fossil fuels altogether.
People are passionate and they want action now, and the suggestion sometimes is to push the big red button and stop it all straight away, stop it tomorrow. And I understand the reasons for that desire, but it's not credible, and in fact it would have a detrimental effect to global emissions.
Our Asian partners need gas so that they can continue to switch off their coal-fired power stations. It's a net gain for the globe.
He says WA's emissions might increase, arguing that is necessary so we can produce the tools for other states and other nations to decrease theirs on a much bigger scale.
A Year 12 student from Bunbury Grammar is making waves in the Australian film industry. His short film, The Comical Conquests of Captain Cardboard, has made the top 3 in the comedy category of a National Film Awards.
One boy, a handful of cardboard and his parents' shed. That's where 17-year-old Declan Fay created his short film, The Comical Conquests of Captain Cardboard.
It's about a schoolboy who is magically given some superpowers and he becomes Captain Cardboard and has to save the city.
After more than 100 hours behind the camera, his films made the shortlist for the prestigious Bond University Film and Television Awards. Declan's a Year 12 student at Bunbury Cathedral Grammar School. He made the film using cardboard cutouts on skewers. He wrote, shot and edited the entire film.
Making films in school, it's been a lot of fun and it's really good to be creative and do something different than your normal subjects.
Declan's media teacher has made it his goal to show regional students that chasing a film career can be more than just a hobby.
So just because you're from a regional area doesn't mean you're going to be disadvantaged from, say, a metro or larger city. There are lots of opportunities and there's lots of people that can actually see your work, even though you're from, a smaller southwest town.
Declan joins 2 other recent graduates who've previously qualified for the finals.
Never really would have thought that something made out of cardboard would be as successful as what it is. It's not about how you make the film, it's about the story that is told. And I think this is a testament to him and his storytelling abilities.
The winners are announced next Saturday. Declan's now setting his sights on the big smoke.
Next year I plan to study film. I'm going to Notre Dame. And after that I hope to just keep making films and eventually make feature films of my own.
Perhaps Bunbury's very own Baz Luhrmann in the making. Pip Waller, 7 News.
Amanda Sabatino is here now with a look at today's weather.
Thanks, Noel. There's a broad low-pressure trough sitting through central parts of the state, but those showers and gusty thunderstorms over the southeast goldfields started to clear. We saw some cloud cover over much of WA, but remaining relatively dry. It was warm and sunny across our far north today. 41 the top in Kununurra, even warmer in Fitzroy Crossing. Marble Bar was our hotspot though. Clear skies in Karratha, 40 degrees in Newman. Sunshine across the central west too. reaching 34 in Geraldton after 17 overnight. Similar conditions in Morawa, and partly cloudy into the Goldfields today. 27 the top in Leonora. A glorious day for the south, but a chilly night in Busselton, down to 6 degrees, 28 today, and mostly sunny along the south coast. Esperance reaching 21. Our Goldfields and Euclid districts earning the top spots on the rain map tonight thanks to those thunderstorms. 28 mils was the most in the gauge to 9 a.m, falling at Laverton Airport. 15 mils recorded in Eucla, and along our south coast, 5 mils recorded at the Duke. On our weather wall tonight, a big hello to Kiara and Shalonda from Warrakona Campus Land School. Well done. And I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up a little later on after sport.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. And ahead tonight, the state government moved to create more choice for families in regional WA. Then releasing a rare turtle into the waters off the Ningaloo coast. Families in regional WA are being given more choice around where they send their children for high school. The changes come after a parliamentary report into regional bus services. From next year, instead of having to send their children to the closest school, parents will be able to choose their nearest district or senior high school. There'll also be more flexibility around being able to get transport assistance. Applications and more information can be found online. Hundreds of people have come together in Exmouth to witness the release of a rare turtle. Several months ago, the hawksbill turtle was found by a local diver with a shell infection and some nasty parasites. After a rehabilitation program, it was ready to head home again.
For Kim Asabi, this is a good day. The juvenile hawksbill turtle has been released back into the wild. Hundreds gathered at Exmouth Town Beach to farewell the endangered creature this week.
Sick juvenile turtle and rehabilitated it back, and we finally got to let it go.
The turtle was found by a diver back in July, not far from where he was released.
Had an internal parasite and a shell infection. Being a hawksbill turtle, that's quite prominent when the scales of the shell all stand up.
His recovery was all thanks to Shire staff at the Ningaloo Aquarium. Its turtle rehabilitation program is supported by the Minderoo Foundation and the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions.
They've managed to release over 40 turtles that have been in care and been rehabilitated.
The Ningaloo coast hosts 6 out of the world's 7 marine turtle species. They build more than 10,000 nests along its beaches every year.
The hawksbill turtle is really endangered, quite rare. Majority of the turtles we have around here are the green sea turtles.
The tortoiseshell trade has decimated the species worldwide due to its distinctive shell pattern. Australia is one of the last remaining havens for the creature.
But currently there's turtles mating and laying everywhere around the place, right up and down the Ningaloo coast.
It's important not to disturb them by staying at least 15 metres away. Josh Van Staden, 7 News.
Albany Spectrum Theatre is preparing to raise the curtain on its newest show. A good old-fashioned big family Christmas is, just as the name suggests, a holiday show for the whole family.
In just under 2 weeks, Albany locals will be taking to the stage. It's one of Spectrum Theatre's first Christmas shows. It follows the ups and downs of family relationships across a Christmas party.
And you can really just expect your typical family Christmas movie that you sit around and watch on Christmas Eve. Lots of comedy, and just about the family, really.
A good old-fashioned big family Christmas is one of Spectrum Theatre's largest shows. There are 14 cast members who join 6 crew members behind the scenes.
Having the varying characters of age and gender and ability has been really great to include everybody in our little local community theatre.
The team has put in hours of rehearsals each week. Everyone plays a part on and off the stage. They say you don't need a big budget to connect with local audiences.
Community theatre is really special because you could just grab everybody from around town, some people you've never met before. We always get new members, which is great. And it becomes a little family, you know, like we're here a lot for rehearsal, so we just band together.
The show opens on November 24th and runs for 3 weekends. Grace Armstrong, 7 News.
Next tonight, sport in South Australia crumble at the WACA. Then a significant milestone for a South West star. Wickets continue to fall today at the WACA as South Australia and WA battle it out in a tight contest on day 2 of the Sheffield Shield. The reigning champions started the day with the bat before being bowled out for 204 this afternoon. Bunbury Products Sam Whiteman and Jaden Goodwin struggled to fire, making only 16 runs between them. The visitors returned to the crease trailing by just 12 runs, but fast bowler Joel Paris was quick to put another scalp on the board.
And out, and out. What a beautiful delivery. And Bancroft, well, he's pouched 6 in the match already. He doesn't look like dropping a catch at slip. And Western Australia have their first.
South Australia remain at the crease to close out day 2. They're currently 6 for 104. The Dockers kick-started their tour of regional WA today with a training camp at a Great Southern school. Students from Tambalup Primary School got up close and personal with their Fremantle heroes today. The Future Stars got the opportunity to pick the brains of their AFL idols and have a kick to kick. Jai Amos was one of the stars on deck. Being a Southwest product, he says it's great to give back to regional communities.
I'm from Busselton and some of the opportunities down this way are pretty limited. But the more that we can keep bringing these sort of people from different Great Southern areas into the footy program, the more we can see their talent shine.
The Dockers will continue their camp in the Great Southern tomorrow, visiting students from Albany Primary School. Well, excitement is building at the Perth Glory camp as the Southwest star gets set to celebrate her 100th A-League women's appearance. Natasha Rigby has been a pillar of defence for several seasons. She's hoping her years of leadership will be the answer to success in this campaign.
Natasha Rigby has bled purple for 7 years and now she's about to celebrate a career milestone.
I'm so incredibly excited and grateful and honoured to be able to step out for the 100th time for Glory.
Born in Margaret River, the defender has been a mainstay since making her debut. Saturday's match against Melbourne Victory will see her become just the 3rd Glory women's player to reach a century.
100 appearances for one team, that doesn't, in any code, in the sports across the country, you don't often hear or see of that. Really hope that it's well acknowledged what she's done for this team, and I couldn't be more proud.
The 30-year-old didn't break into the big leagues until she was a mature age player, but since then Rigby's won several awards in the purple colours and is currently team captain for a 5th consecutive season.
First few years I was finding my feet and I feel like I've really developed over the last few years, and as a leader as well, I think I've really come into my own over the last 2 to 3 years as well, so it's a credit to the people that believed in me and the players around me.
The impact she has on this team since I've been here, in particular over the last couple of years, has been unbelievable. I don't think there'd be enough words to really put into action or put into place that would describe how much she's done for the team.
Perth are off to a flying start to this campaign, undefeated from 4 games. Rigby is hopeful this is the year she finally tastes a championship.
I hope so. It's really special to be able to take the field at a time like this and continue, our positive momentum.
I think she's been a big part of what we've been building towards over the last couple of years.
Julian Vicentini, 7 News.
3 regional players are back in the Thunderstick squad for the last Hockey 1 match before the finals. Collie's Bella Ramshaw and Harvey's Georgina Dowd return to the Perth lineup. Tambalup's Penny Squibb will lead the side against Brisbane as skipper Rachel Fruscher is being rested due to general soreness. For the men, they're preparing for a do-or-die battle. They'll be hoping the inclusion of Wickerpin's Alistair Murray can get them into the top 4. The Thundersticks and Blaze face off on Sunday afternoon. Amanda's next with the weather at your place, and then in 7 News at 6, food fight. The legal beef between McDonald's and Hungry Jack's. Tonight, who won the 3-year bun fight?
Welcome back. Before we take a look at the rest of the forecast, a big congratulations to Pat and Ted Remus from Bunbury, celebrating their diamond wedding anniversary, 60 years of marriage today. A very special milestone indeed. Well done. Tomorrow we could see those showers continue in Eucla, potentially over the northern and eastern Kimberley too. It'll be a windy morning across central parts of the state and remaining very hot over our north. Those conditions are set to stick around into the start of the weekend, much the same on Saturday. On Sunday, though, temperatures across central parts of the Kimberley could spike, becoming very hot and remaining windy over much of the central west. Skies clearing, though, across our southwest. And into the start of next week, we could see those thunderstorms return across our north. Hot and sunny, though, across our far north tomorrow, 40 degrees in Kununurra. Even warmer in Fitzroy Crossing, clear skies in Port Hedland, a top of 34 there. And we'll see similar conditions in Exmouth tomorrow. That sunshine sticking around, moving into the central west. A scorcher in the Junction tomorrow, 41. Similar temperatures in Morawa and clear skies in Dalwallinu. Warming up further south, 29 in Bunbury. We'll see a cloudy day in Albany, though, reaching 20 degrees there. Dipping to 8 overnight in Bridgetown. And sunshine further inland, 28, the top in Merredin. Mostly sunny along the south coast, 26 in Lake Grace. But we could see a thunderstorm in Eucla, 18 degrees there, and into the Goldfields, partly cloudy and 25 the top in Kalgoorlie. On local waters tomorrow, swells to around 1 metre on our Kimberley coasts, but there is a strong wind warning in place for the Gascoyne coast, winds to around 30 knots there. That warning also extending to the Geraldton coast, seas to around 2.5 metres, winds also reaching up to 30 knots. East-southeasterly winds along the south coasts tomorrow, with swells to 2 metres on the Esperance coast. Around the rest of the country tomorrow, showers and 22 the top in Sydney, partly cloudy and 20 degrees in Hobart, sunshine in Adelaide, and back in the west, warming up in Perth tomorrow, reaching a top of 29 degrees. That's all from me. Good night.
OK, thanks, Amanda. And that's all from us for this Thursday night. You can catch up on any of tonight's stories by heading to the 7plus app or just go to the web. Our team from Perth is next, but from all of us here, good night, Western Australia.